Redline is the most popular race in the galaxy, and in Redline, anything goes. The movie opens with Sweet JP competing in the Yellow Line elimination race, where he's been instructed to throw the race by a group of gangsters. And they've planted a bomb on his vehicle if he betrays them. Because of this, Sonashi, also known as Cherry Boy Hunter, wins the race and moves on to Redline, while Sweet JP lays unconscious in the hospital. But this year's Redline is announced to take place on a hostile planet, and some of the racers dip out. Suddenly, Sweet JP qualifies for the big race. The first half of the movie is going to focus on building up to this massive explosive event, introducing us to all the unique personalities of its racers, along with all the other conflicts that'll rise up, like the government trying to put an end to this race, one way or another, and the gangsters that believe that they still own Sweet JP. All of this builds up, nice and steady, with humor, wit, and style, all the way up to the start of the race. And let me tell you, once those engines start out, it'll take your breath away. Think of Redline like Speed Racer for adults. Adults on cocaine. Although really it's more like Wipeout. The premise is very straightforward, with a much larger focus on characters and world building, other than a complicated plot. There's really no drama or emotional stakes of any kind. This is all about the adrenaline. This is one of the most bold, most flashy movies I've ever seen. The art style here is absolutely breathtaking. Each scene looks better than the last. Where this movie lacks deep character development, it makes up for by having a strong cast of interesting characters. There's Machine Head, a cybernetic racer that doesn't just modify his ride, he modifies himself. There's the super sexy idol duo Magicians, and you can support them by buying their new single for Redline. Speaking of duos, there's these two bounty hunters, and they're out to get revenge on Machine Head. There's a dirty cop that has a complete disregard for the law, and he's just so filled with rage, he's gonna bust up any cocky racers that dare challenge him. You learn about all these characters through these entertaining TV segments, shown on this racing news network. You get some backstory, and you learn a bit about their personalities. And there's usually a pretty funny gag mixed in. The way this movie presents its information is a lot of fun. It's a little hard to talk about the story or what happens in the movie, really because there's not too much to be said. It all builds up to this giant Redline race, pretty far into the movie. The title speaks for itself. This movie's biggest asset is its animation, and it's well worth the price of admittance. Redline uses no CGI whatsoever. This bad boy is over 100,000 hand-drawn frames of animation. Old school, but with a modern art style. It's an explosion of color, with gorgeous, thick, dark lines, and everything just pops. Add to the mix some of the funkiest and most electrifying music to ever grace your ears, and you have a recipe for disaster. A good kind of disaster. A Redline disaster. This movie's an exercise in excessive, over-the-top action. It's purely insane. It's wholly unique. It's mind-blowing. And it's just awesome. Sadly, though, I really don't have much more to add about this one. I think this is just one of those cases where what you see is what you get, and frankly, what you see is downright incredible. So do yourself a favor, strap yourself in, and get ready for the ride of your life.
It's a red line day, everything's okay, put your cares away, it's a red line